This evening, media operatives trained to report gender-based violence cases in Guyana. Police probe shooting outside Bartica nightclub, 2 injured, suspect in custody. Armed robbery targets supermarket in Lusignan. Chinese national cashiers held at gunpoint. In the region, Guatemala's body certifies Arevalo's victory hours after party suspended. And internationally, India's Manipur violence, peace meeting ends in chaos. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for August 30th, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Police are investigating an alleged armed robbery at the Hongyang supermarket at Lusignan on the east coast of Demerara last evening. 2 female Chinese national cashiers at the supermarket were robbed of a quantity of GTT and digital phone cards and an undisclosed amount of cash by 4 men. Reports are that around 7:30 on Tuesday, August 30th, the 4 suspects arrived at the supermarket on 2 red and black XR motorcycles. They parked in front of the supermarket. 2 of the men immediately rushed in and simultaneously held both cashiers at gunpoint. After that, they went into the cash register and took the items. The suspects then returned to their motorcycles and escaped south on the Lusignan access road. The ongoing police investigation will receive support from captured camera footage that recorded portions of the incident. A 17-year-old minor, Anthony Richard, tragically lost his life in a mining pit incident at Cowpenback Dam, Peroni River in Region 7. The incident occurred around 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday, August 30th. Investigators revealed that Richard owned and operated a 4-inch land dredge with 3 other workers. At the time of the incident, Richard and the workers were in his mining pit, jetting with a hose, when suddenly the land above him became loose and crumbled, covering the teenager. The other workers raised the alarm and other public-spirited persons responded. They were able to dig away the soil, but by the time they retrieved his body was lifeless. Richard's body was taken to the Peroni Health Post and pronounced dead on arrival. The body was examined and several aberrations were observed on his left leg. The body will be escorted to Georgetown for a post-mortem examination as investigations continues. We tell you now that police are investigating a shooting incident outside the Paradise nightclub in Bartica during the early hours of this morning. The incident involved a 46-year-old minor allegedly attempting to commit murder on 38-year-old Conroy Cox and 18-year-old Lavella Douglas. Investigations revealed that around 1:30 a.m., the 46-year-old suspect and 2 other friends were at the Paradise nightclub. Both victims were also at the nightclub. While passing, a friend of the suspect hit the table where the victims were sitting, causing the bottles to fall and spilling alcohol on them. A confrontation ensued, during which Cox assaulted the suspect. Cox left and returned with his vehicle and continued to provoke the suspect. The man got upset and discharged multiple rounds from his licensed Glock 45 firearm, hitting Cox 3 times in the abdomen and Douglas in her right hand. Both victims were taken to the Bartica hospital where Cox's condition is critical and Douglas is stable. The crime scene was processed and 2 9mm spent shells were recovered. The suspect was arrested and his firearm was secured by the police as an investigation is ongoing. Stick around when we return. Media operatives trained to report gender-based violence cases in Guyana, and 13-year-old boy allegedly drowns at Kamaka Mines Beach in Region 10.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is why I gonna do here?
Let's start improving your child grades today. Register for our primary or nursery department. Hidden Treasures, we're located at 204 E. Charlotte Street between Camp and Alexander. Or contact us at 6490373.
I gonna call them now.
Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure. always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
All we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinate soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radica went to the supermarket and she pop buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a Guyana map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Human Services and Social Security's Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Policy Unit recently conducted a one-day workshop for 25 media operatives to enhance their reporting on gender-based violence and sexual offences cases. Aligned with the Sexual Offences Act of 2010, the initiative aims to enable responsible and accurate reporting of sensitive issues by empowering media professionals. The workshop covered topics such as court protocols, court reporting, the Sexual Offences Act, protocol and effective reporting of gender-based violent cases. The ministry thanked the media for participating, emphasizing the collective effort to build a safer society free from gender-based violence. Moreover, the ministry is extending its effort to the community level through the Community Advocates Network initiative, training citizens to recognize and address gender-based violence. Additionally, a collaboration between the Human Services and Home Affairs Ministries is training members of the Guyana Police Force under the COP Squad 2000 initiative to handle domestic violence cases in aligned with international best practices. We tell you now that tragedy struck in Linden as police are probing the circumstances surrounding the alleged drowning of a 13-year-old boy at the Kamaka Mines Beach in Region 10 on Tuesday, August 29. Hassani Mack of Wizrock New Housing Scheme reportedly drowned at the beach around 4:30 p.m. yesterday during an outing with several others. Inquiries disclosed that the 13-year-old lad left home in the company of a 29-year-old Canadian national, his 25-year-old wife, both of Karakar Mackenzie Linden, and 4 other juveniles to go swimming at the Kamaka Mines Beach. While engaging in water games, Hassani and a 14-year-old peer went to the middle of the river to wash off their bodies. However, the water's current grew stronger, leading to Hassani's submersion. Despite rescue attempts, he vanished underwater. The Canadian national successfully rescued the other juvenile, but could not reach Hassani in time. Local residents aided in the search, but Hassani's body remains unlocated. Ongoing investigations are being conducted. In an update to a story we reported on at a Blast Gaming Center outlet on 2nd Avenue, Bartica, the 34-year-old businessman who allegedly fatally hammered a customer, Mark Brathwaite, at the gaming center, was granted $1 million station bail. The victim was reportedly arguing with the businessman after spilling alcohol on the counter. Brathwaite allegedly threw beer bottles at the businessman and left the shop. In response, the businessman armed himself with a hammer and attacked Braffett, causing severe injuries. Braffett was later pronounced dead at the Bartica hospital. The businessman was arrested and held for 72 hours before being released on bail pending further investigations. The Director of Public Prosecutions requested additional inquiries before recommending any charges. The Bartica Police Commander confirmed that the investigations are complete and the case file will be sent to the DPP for review. Don't go away after the break. London pollution. City extends ultra-low emission zone. And India's Manipur violence. Peace meeting ends in chaos.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. Here's credit. And today, all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you wanna know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a Guyana map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Beccaphonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Guatemala's top electoral tribunal has declared Bernardo Arevalo the winner of the country's presidential elections, but his presidency was plunged into uncertainty even before it had officially begun after another government body suspended his Seed Movement party. Al Jazeera's Zain Bashravi reports.
Endorsed by one government body, censured by another on the same day. Competing announcements that add to the confusion following the controversial presidential runoff election in Guatemala 9 days ago.
El Tribunal Supremo Electoral The Supreme Electoral Tribunal has already officially ratified the results of August 20. Therefore, Dr. Karen Herrera is Vice President-elect and I'm President-elect. This is an irrefutable fact. Apart from that, there is the suspension of the seed movement that has no relation with our ratification.
Despite the resounding result in the runoff, the impact of his political party being suspended is unclear. The suspension is unlikely to affect his swearing-in due in January, but it could weaken his rule before it begins.
I think this is extremely alarming because every day they are trying to confuse us with news, with disinformation, by generating fear and psychological warfare. Honestly, I am fed up with this system. I'm fed up that they are playing with the will of the people in this way.
Arevalo's election opponent, former First Lady Sandra Torres, accuses him of voter fraud, something the electoral registry that banned his party is investigating. Outgoing President Alejandro Giammattei has so far not publicly commented. Arevalo, the son of a former diplomat, is an unlikely winner. His ballot box success as an anti-corruption campaigner represents a threat to the country's elite and the status quo. Arevalo's progressive campaign resonated with Guatemalans who were tired of corruption and hungry for change. Zain Basravi, Al Jazeera.
Internationally, the expansion of a clean air zone in London has sparked protests in the UK capital. Protesters are frustrated that the scheme has doubled in size to include the whole of London, but the mayor says the changes are vital. Al Jazeera's Nuvia Barker reports.
YouTuber Shazad Sheikh, aka the Brown Car Guy, drives a modern classic BMW. He'll now have to pay $16 a day for the ultra-low emission or ULEZ charge. The scheme's good news for air pollution, but it's bad news for car enthusiasts.
We're in the middle of a cost of living crisis. People are really feeling the pinch. And to suddenly hit them with this additional charge in a situation where they may not be able to afford a new car, I think is completely unjustified, especially because the timescale was so short. We're talking less than 12 months.
9 out of 10 vehicles on London's roads are already compliant. And the London Mayor's offering $8,800 to drivers who scrap their vans and $2,500 for cars. But Shazad wouldn't dream of ditching his pride and joy. For others, such as plasterer Pat Smith, the extra cost of running his van puts a strain on his business.
What's really frustrating about it is that we're all going to be getting ourselves into debt when we've got perfectly good vans to drive. Either pass the bill on to the customer or I've got to just swallow it myself.
But Mayor Sadiq Khan says the science is clear. Previous lower emission zones in central and inner London cut harmful pollutants drastically.
After today, 5 million more Londoners will be breathing clean air. I've been quite clear from the outset. The decision to expand the ULEZ was a difficult one, but it's a vital one. It's the right thing to do.
The new expansion covers 1,500 square kilometres and nearly 700,000 liable cars, making it the largest low-emission zone in the world.
There is absolutely no doubt amongst scientists, amongst health professionals and amongst people who experience this every day that air pollution is having a devastating effect on our health. If we look at the impact of the original ULEZ, there is clear data that there was massive improvements in health.
Well, they may have brought their anger all the way to the gates of Downing Street, but there's actually very little that government can do to overturn ULEZ, given that England's High Court recently ruled that all the work that went into making the scheme was thorough and legally sound.
The Conservative Party candidate, 13,965.
The issue's also become massively politicised after a recent election in former Prime Minister Boris Johnson's old seat of Uxbridge. The opposition Labour Party had been expected to seize the constituency easily from the ruling Conservatives, but were instead punished for the Labour London Mayor's plans. A year away from a general election, ULEZ could play a driving role in the battle for Downing Street. Neve Barker, Al Jazeera, London.
And finally, a meeting aimed at helping to end tribal conflict in northern India has ended in chaos. Rival political leaders in Manipur blamed each other for not doing enough to end communal unrest in the state. At least 160 people have been killed in 3 months of fighting between the majority Hindu and minority Christian communities. Al Jazeera's Charles Stratford reports.
It's calm for now in the village of Quarta, but this mainly Muslim community is situated in the middle of what many here are calling a tribal conflict. one that has killed at least 160 people since May and forced tens of thousands to flee their homes in the northeastern state of Manipur. Militias from the Hindu-majority Métis and the mainly Christian minority Kuki have fought for decades over land, socio-economic and religious rights. The latest violence started when the Kuki began protesting against demands from the Métis for official tribal status, which would give them better access to land ownership and business deals. The people living in the crossfire zone say they are terrified.
We fear that exchange of gunfire will start again. There are already some people from our community who have suffered injuries. That is why nobody is staying here and we are living in a relief camp. We are caught in a crossfire between the hills and the valley.
In the Manipur State Assembly building, in the regional capital Imphal, the first meeting between rival political leaders ended in chaos, with both sides blaming each other for not doing enough to resolve the crisis.
Once again, the House is convened after half an hour, and again, the opposition did not let the discussions to take place. Very important pressing issues of the day which needed to be discussed, which we wanted to put forth to the public. They did not allow that to happen.
If House is agreed, then we can continue this assembly session at least for 5 days. That is what we requested. But they are not listened. They are not agreed.
Community leaders say the unrest will continue unless more effort is made to mediate.
Resolving the conflict is more important, and you can't do it in the assembly. That is very much certain. You have to do it on the ground first, get the conflicting parties to talk, and then after that is done, then you can start with the formal kind of procedure in the assembly. But the assembly cannot settle the disputes.
With little sign of a political solution, there are increasing fears across this region of more violence at any time. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.